We have a 2015 Ford Escape, and it has a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now today we're going to be changing the fluid in said transmission. It's not all that difficult, there's only a few bolts, and it more or less drains and fills a lot like your typical engine does. In this video we're going to go over how to do so. We're going to show you where the drain bolt is for the transmission fluid on this vehicle. So cameraman Mike is going to hop under the car and point out to you guys where that drain bolt is located. Take it away.
All right, guys, a little bit of a trip to get under here, but the drain bolt in question is this guy right here.
Now, when it comes to putting automatic transmission fluid in this vehicle, it's actually impossible to overfill the transmission as long as you undo one bolt. I'll show you that bolt right now. If you want to come in over here, just to the left of the CV axle is this little bolt right here. That gets undone, and what it is this is your leveling bolt. Basically, if you try to overfill the transmission with that bolt out, it'll just drain out of that hole. Now, this is assuming your vehicle is currently level. Right now, it's not level because we need it to get under there, but we'll get to that point later in the video. But yeah, not too bad. All right, we are under the car, and we are about to drain the transmission fluid. Try not to drop the drain plug into your catch can. There's going to be approximately a gallon coming out, but we're going to see how much is actually in here.
We're out of gloves these days, folks. Times is tough. That wasn't bad.
There she blows. Very similar to changing your engine oil.
Yep.
And we're just going to let it drain until it's completely out. And then we'll put the bolt back in. And we're just going to get it a little more than hand tight, just so it's skookum.
And that'll do it.
So you might be wondering at this point, how exactly do you fill the transmission once you've drained it? Well, there is a little fill port inside of the engine bay. If we scoot some stuff to the side, you'll see this black plug that we're poking at with this little extendy bit right here. If you pull that out, go ahead and grab that. You will find point it out again by moving this. Aha! There's a hole. Now you're going to put a funnel in that hole, and that is where we're going to fill the transmission fluid. If you're wondering what type of transmission fluid to use, it says right on the cap, Mercon LV. At AutoZone, we picked up one of these funnels that has a long, thin little tube that goes right in, so where we're going to pour our fluid, making this nice and convenient. This is the leveling bolt that goes right over here to the left of the CV axle. So when you are filling your transmission, if you overfill it with this bolt out, then the fluid will simply just drip out of that hole. So that way you cannot overfill it so long as your car is level. Right now, our car's on a jack stand, so she's not level yet. But we're going to take her off the jack stand, use our hydraulic jack, get this driver's side wheel a little closer to the ground so that way it's as close to the equivalent of having its wheel on as we possibly can. We're leveling it out. A little lower, almost there. And stop. I'd say that is pretty level. So now, our overfill bolt, or leveling bolt, whatever you want to call it, it's further down there, but that way the car is level, so that way one part of the engine isn't sticking up, screwing up our level and preventing you from getting an accurate fill. My friend Mike here is going to start filling up the transmission with new transmission fluid. Not a sponsor. Mercon VLV. All right. So, through here. And as he fills that up, we're going to be watching that bolt for fluid to come out. Because once it starts coming out, we know we've filled up pretty much as the transmission needs. Ah, there she goes.
Oh, spot on, because we've got about a quart left.
All right, see? She is weeping out of this hole. So, now we're just going to let it drain into our pan. And when it stops draining into the pan, we're going to plug her back up. Now that the fluid is in the transmission, we are going to start the vehicle and just row through the gears. Make sure the fluid gets pumped into everything as much as we can before we take her on the road. So let's go ahead and start her up. Put on the brake. Going to go into reverse.
5 seconds a gear.
Get that fluid pumping. And back in park. All right.